Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with the Spain News Update. And one autonomous community here in Spain has said that the health emergency is over, but more about that in just a moment. Firstly, a big thanks to all of the people that left comments on the last video. Lots of comments, lots of debate happening there as usual. Thanks to people that supported the channel by buying merchandise, and a big thanks to my patrons on Patreon for your continuing support. Now, let's get into the news. And as I said, in one autonomous community here in Spain, Galicia, the health emergency has come to an end. As we can see here, Galicia puts an end to the health emergency, full capacity restored and opening hours extended. Galicia has put an end this Thursday to the health emergency decreed in March 2020, while its authorities have decided to recover full capacity in all activities that had not yet done so. The measure is mainly aimed at the hospitality and nightlife sector, where it has been decided to extend closing times by half an hour to 1 hour. Cafes and restaurants will be able to open until 1:30 a.m. on Friday and Saturday nights, while pubs will be able to close at 4:30 a.m. on weekends. Likewise, discotheques and nightclubs will extend their opening hours to 5 a.m. every day, according to the first Vice President of the Junta, Alfonso Rueda. So the COVID-19 health emergency in Galicia has come to an end after a long 18 months. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Galicia currently has the lowest COVID-19 incidence rate in the whole country. So congratulations, Galicia, on getting back some of that normality. Now, Spain and the United States have come to an agreement over a trade issue. As we can see here, Spain reaches agreement with the United States on Google tax to avoid tariffs. Spain, France, Italy, Austria, and the United Kingdom have reached an agreement with the United States to avoid the entry into force of tariffs on imports from these countries, approved by Washington in June to address the digital taxes applied by European countries. The agreement reached demonstrates Spain's willingness to reach international consensus on such important issues as improving international taxation to make it fairer, but it is also an example of the government's leadership in defending our country's interest in the tax and trade sphere, said the Minister of Finance and Public Administration, Maria Jesus Montero. So there we go, an agreement reached by those European countries and the United States to avoid tariffs being slapped on European products. And as the minister said, while giving herself a pat on the back, another example of this government's leadership. Now, the topic of these new road tolls or road pricing system that the government is planning to implement here in Spain over the next few years is making headlines again today. And as we can see here, coalition partner Podemos won't support motorway tolls and opens another rift in the government. Podemos has announced this Thursday that it will not support the motorway tolls that the government wants to introduce before 2024 if they harm the working class. This opens a new rift in the government because the introduction of the tolls is a commitment made with Brussels. The Minister for Transport and Mobility, Raquel Sanchez, confirmed this week that in a few months the charging system will be designed which will involve fair, rigorous and sustainable pricing which does not generate territorial grievances. Podemos refuses to make this charge the same for all citizens. It puts forward a proposal based on a progressive system that would cover above all large companies with fleets of large tonnage vehicles and, on a private level, large cylinder capacity or polluting vehicles, as long as the journey is not made for essential activities, work, studies, etc. So the new road pricing system, not a done deal yet, because Podemos doesn't want it to hurt the working class. And that's surprising because most of the new reforms that this government has introduced over the last couple of years have definitely hit the working class. So we'll wait a couple of months to see what this new road pricing system looks like. Now, we saw at the start of the video how one autonomous community here in Spain, Galicia, has put an end to the health emergency, and another autonomous community here, Madrid, is also modifying the mask mandate at schools. As we can see here, masks will no longer be compulsory in school playgrounds in Madrid. The president of the Community of Madrid, Isabel Díaz Ayuso, has announced that face masks will no longer be compulsory in the region's schools during breaks and outdoors from Monday the 25th of October. Masks will no longer be compulsory in school playgrounds because we owe a lot to the children, to a generation marked by the pandemic, and we must follow their example, she announced in the plenary session of the Assembly. Until now, outdoor sports activities during physical education time in schools could be carried out without masks as long as they were done with the authorization and supervision of the teachers responsible for the group of pupils at the time. So Madrid, the first part of Spain to do away with compulsory mask wearing in school playgrounds. But as usual, this decision has not been taken well by the central government, and a new battle has started between Madrid and the health ministry over face masks in playgrounds. Is it time to remove them? The Community of Madrid and the Ministry of Health have clashed again over restrictions. This time it has been over the use of masks in school playgrounds. The autonomous region has said that from Monday it will not be necessary, while the health department reminds that they are mandatory. The experts consulted by News have different positions on the matter. At the moment, there is no objective data, apart from children's tiredness, to remove the restrictions, says the Vice President of the Spanish Society of Epidemiology, Oscar Zurriaga. He emphasises the oscillations in Spain's 14-day cumulative incidence. The most prudent thing to do is wait a little longer, he reiterates. So a big question currently being debated, is it the right time for children to stop wearing masks in the playground at school? That's the question. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Now let's have a look at a summary of the health situation here in Spain. We can see that the accumulated incidence rate countrywide is now sitting at 43.26. The hospital situation looks positive, with only a 1% plant pressure and 1,755 COVID patients hospitalised around the country, and ICU pressure is currently at 4.8%, with 434 COVID patients in ICU. Now, the cannabis legalization debate continues to make headlines here in Spain. We saw the other day how the big political parties here in Spain, the PSOE party, the PP party, and Vox, took the debate off the table, and it seems that cannabis growing and use in Spain is not going to be legalized anytime soon. But anybody who lives in Spain or has visited Spain recently would know that cannabis is already a business here. As we can see here, from grow shops to CBD shops, the cannabis business in Spain. In Spain, drug trafficking is considered a criminal offence in the penal code. Selling cannabis can be punishable by up to 3 years in prison. However, there are ways to make a legal living from marijuana, the most widely consumed illegal drug in the European Union. These alternatives are grow shops and CBD shops, which represent an increasingly interesting niche market. According to lawyer Elena Echeverri of Sativas Consulting, in this sector the law of supply and demand is very favourable. In times of crisis, there are many people who are considering new ways of earning money, Echeverri points out. The truth is that there are more and more shops, online or physical, that specialise in selling cannabis derivatives such as CBD, the relaxing and non-psychotropic component, or even seeds and all kinds of utensils for germinating them. Although the sector is somewhat contradictory, CBD products cannot be sold for human consumption, nor can seeds be marketed for planting. So there we go, that's the cannabis business currently here in Spain, and if you had trouble understanding what that article was trying to say, you're not alone. You can open a business here in Spain, sell marijuana seeds, but people are not allowed to grow plants. And you can even open a business that specialises in CBD products, but you can't sell them for human consumption. So there's another couple of examples of how this country works, a complete contradiction. Now let's have a look at some of the comments from previous videos. One here from Chrissy: I use CBD oil in a roll-on to help me sleep. It works well. Also, a lot of people are using it to help their children reduce epileptic fits. Medical use should be allowed. UK doctors are coming round to its use. Yeah, Chrissy, thanks for the comment, and you're right, the rest of the world seems to be coming around to the medicinal use of cannabis, but not here in Spain yet. As we saw in that previous article, the rules and regulations around cannabis are extremely difficult to understand. You can buy marijuana seeds legally, but it's illegal to germinate them, and you can go to a specialised shop and look at CBD products, but they're not allowed to sell them to you. So try and work that one out. One here from Alberto: Salamanca is a must, Stuart. I took students there, 900 plus for 30 straight years, 1989 to 2019. Need some tips? Contact me. It's like a second home for me, going back next summer on my own for research. Yeah, Alberto, thanks for the comment, and a few other people in the comment section recently have also pointed out that Salamanca is a must-visit city here in Spain. I think I showed an article in these videos a few months ago that was talking about some of the lesser-known places to visit in Spain, and if I remember correctly, Salamanca was #1 on that list. So thanks for the offer, and if I do end up making it there soon, I'll definitely get in contact with you. One here from Dirk: I am very curious how the new so-called toll system is going to work. I bet you it will be more expensive than before. Keep up with the videos, Stu. Yeah, Dirk, thanks for the comment, and you're not the only person curious to see how this new toll system, oh that's right, we can't call it a toll system, this new road pricing system is going to work here in Spain. What's the government going to do? How are they going to charge motorists? Well, from what I can gather, they're looking at using a system similar to the one that's in place in Portugal, where they put this metal structure over the highways, and every time you drive through that metal structure, you get charged. And that also means, I believe, that cars will have to be fitted with a special system to detect the radar. And the cost, from what I have heard, is going to be about 1 cent per kilometre. So if you drive 300 kilometres, it's going to cost about €3. But as I said earlier in the video, more information about this new system will be revealed in coming months. One here from David. Gracias, Stuart. Interesting about charging for the use of a road not being a toll. Interesting concept. Anyway, to make money, lots of countries where there are charges are difficult to justify when many were built with public funds or EU money. Thanks again for your videos. Yeah, David, thanks for the comment, and it is an interesting concept, charging people to use a road but not calling it a toll. The government preferring to use some type of euphemism because obviously the word toll has a negative connotation. And let's be honest, I don't think there's a country in the world where people are happy to pay tolls. But what can we do? The country is broke, it owes Europe a lot of money, and Europe wants its money back. Hence this new road pricing system. One here from Andy. Do I remember paying to go on Spanish motorways back in the 1990s? Yeah, Andy, thanks for the comment. And yes, you most likely did pay to use some of the roads here in Spain back in the 1990s. There are quite a few toll roads around the country, especially in places like Catalonia and the Basque Country. So if you come into Spain from France, you get hit with tolls in those areas. But in the rest of the country, especially the central part of the country, the two Castillas, Extremadura, even here in Madrid, there are not a lot of tolls. There might be a few for specific infrastructure projects, for example, a tunnel that goes through a mountain, but apart from that, pretty much toll-free. But in 2024, unfortunately, we're going to have to pay to use all of the motorway system here in Spain. And finally, one here from Lone Planet Wanderer. Hi Stu, something moved on the sofa. Who's that? Yeah, Lone Planet, thanks for the comment. And that little ball of hair that you can see on the couch behind me that sometimes moves is the latest addition to the family, our dog Mia. Somebody the other day thought that it was a cat behind me on the couch, but no, it is a dog. And just in case anybody was doubting whether or not it is a dog, here she is. On that note, I'll wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the video out as you normally do. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. We'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.